What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the vlog, and thank you very much for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. I can't say that enough. However, today I have a major problem, and the problem has to do with this thing right here. Yeah. If you caught my video last week when I was headed out to Dover's garage, I mentioned that the freaking locking gas cap on this car, the key had somehow just totally disappeared, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I don't know how that happened, but it did. So here's the situation right now. I have this, and as you can see, gotta put a key in it. I can't find this key, meaning I can't drive the car because I can't put gas in it. So today, before I can do anything else, I gotta get rid of this thing because it's seriously pissing me off. It shouldn't have been there to begin with because it's stupid. Don't do a locking gas cap. Come on. Anyway, that's the first order of business, so let's get to it. Alright, so I'm not trying to sit here and jack with this thing. I mean, it's just plastic. So I think I'm just going to pry it off. A rag here to protect the paint. And of course, there's another piece in there. Boom. All right, we got it. So after this piece, this piece, this piece, and this piece, now I can put actually some gas in this car maybe. What a concept. If you follow the channel, there's always one question that I have to ask myself when I go to do anything with this car. And that is, will it start? So, here we go. Fingers crossed. Haha. Yeah. Hold on, watch. Nothing. So, as you can clearly see, that is how this day is starting out. I don't even feel like jumping this thing, so beater time. Let's do this. Alright guys, so before we get into the coyote updates for today, which I do have a few, I've got to go get, not my monster. Nope. No more monsters for me. I am a new and reformed man, and I am on the wagon, so I actually have found a new beverage of choice, and hopefully you approve. I have to say that I do approve. They're very delicious, and that's where we're headed to go pick up right now. So, let's go. Picked up my vitamin water, and I figured if it's good enough for 50 cents, it's good enough for me, right? And yeah, I kind of dig these things. This is the XXX, the XXX, but it's got all kinds of vitamins and electrolytes and all that stuff, and low calories and all that. Very low sodium there, Mr. Harris-Lou. 0 milligrams of sodium. And not only that, I can get 2 of these bad boys for $2.50. You can't even get one Monster for $2.50. So screw you, Monster. I'm drinking the vitamin water, 50 cents. You're my boy. I wanted to get into some coyote updates. Now, something rather ironic happened last night. I was talking to Jeremy Dover on the phone, and we were just, kicking around coyote stuff. And I mentioned to him, I was like, you know what? I sent Maximum Motorsport an email about my K-member yesterday because I still hadn't gotten anything, and oddly enough, like 5 minutes after I got off the phone with Jeremy, I got a UPS ship confirmation from Maximum Motorsports for a 114-pound package. So my entire front end from Maximum Motorsports is on the way. Oh my God, am I freaking excited. And like, the reason I'm so excited is that's a huge part of the build, is actually being able to physically put the engine in the car. You can't do crap until you have a K member to set the engine on. So that's something that's really big. And pardon me, I'm looking at a couple of different options for smoothing the engine bay. There are some pretty cool options. I've been speaking to a guy over on my Facebook page that makes these carbon fiber panels, and he's got large and small ones. One actually wraps all the way around like the shock tower, and the edges are really nice and finished. And he was sending me he was showing me pictures and stuff like that, and they look freaking fantastic. And the more I got to thinking about it, the more I was like, you know, that's gonna be a really good option for me, simply because I can't, you know, at this point I don't have the money to pay a body shop a whole crap ton of money to, you know, totally smooth the engine bay out completely, which is my ultimate goal. But if you've watched some of the other videos, you already know that I'm not going to do a half-assed job on this. I'm going to either do it right or I'm not going to do it at all. And this seems like kind of the best of both worlds for me, and so I was pretty pumped about that. So as far as Coyote updates, that's really all I've got at the moment. It's kind of unfortunate because it is going a little slower than I had hoped, but at the same token, you have to understand that there's nothing, you know, fast about this. There's nothing cheap about this, and there's a lot that goes into the build. And I've said it a million times, but that's something I always want to go back to as you're kind of following along this build. I get a lot of people, like, comments that say, you know, I see it on TV all the time, you know, these big companies will build a car and they just, like, hand over fist money, and the car is built in, you know, a couple of weeks, something like that. And it's just not real. That's why people don't connect with that. So I hope that's something that you can kind of take away from this and you can connect with, is this is a real world build. I'm a real world dude, and it isn't cheap. And, you know, there are scheduling conflicts, and, you know, sometimes, you know, Jeremy's not able to work on the car. There's times, you know, like today when I'm not able to go out and do things on the car, you know, so it's not like, you know, this is something that, you know, we're doing, you know, 8 hours a day out in the shop working on the car. So that's why it is taking a little while longer. This is a real life build. We've got real life obligations, real life budgets. And the main thing is, you know, don't get discouraged when you're doing your build. Don't get, you know, like, freak out when one little thing doesn't go right and end up, you know, just scrapping the whole build. Because I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I see it every day. People posting up, they're selling their entire, you know, swap kit. They've got this part, and this part. They're giving up. They're quitting. And that's one thing that is not going to happen here. And I know why people do that is because it is expensive. It is a somewhat complicated job the first time you do it. But anything is like that. And you just take your time. You know, go with your budget, whatever that is, and just do what you can. That's all there is to it. Don't make it harder than it is, because at the end of the day, it is hot rodding and it is supposed to be fun. So the last and final thing I wanted to cover with this build is, what are my intentions with the car? If you go to my website, thefoxcast.com, you can kind of get a feel for what I do with the car. The car is basically a tool for my business, which is Foxcast Media. It is the project car. You know, magazines have project cars, and, you know, places like Power Block TV and stuff like that, they have project cars. This is my project car. And what makes my project car kind of unique is I drive it to all these events. And if you've watched other videos, you kind of know that I do that. But the car was driven to, I think, 10 or 12 events last year, to each and every event. And, you know, I packed up the entire freaking booth for these events most of the time in the back of this car. And so it has to meet a few criteria. Number one, it has to be reliable, like completely reliable. And number two, it also has to be fun. You know, it has to make power, it has to handle, it has to, you know, run a decent time at the drag strip. And, you know, if I take it on a road course or something, it's got to be able to hold its own there too. So I don't ask a lot of it, right? To do that, I'm going to have to do a couple different things. I'm going to have to build the rear end. The rear end is stock, completely stock. So I'm probably going to need to do axles, diff, gears, stuff like that to make sure the rear end can hold up. The transmission, I believe I have locked in, but I don't want to announce it until it's 100% locked in. So stay tuned for that. But trust me when I say it'll be a stick shift and it can handle everything that I'm going to throw at it. So that being said, I'll fill you in as soon as I've got all the details on the transmission / clutch setup. So hang with me there. But I'm going to ask a lot of this car, and if it doesn't live up to all the expectations, you're going to know about it. And if it does, you're definitely going to know about it, because everybody that I've talked to is super curious about how fast is the car going to be? You know, what's it going to sound like? How, you know, how's it going to run? You know, what kind of gas mileage is it going to get? And I'm curious too, and that's why I'm bringing all this information to you, because the real world testing on a real world engine, you know, that was done on a real world budget, that's something that everybody can relate to, and so that's what I'm doing, and I hope you dig it. All right, guys, so that is pretty much what I've got for you today. There are some things happening, not a whole heck of a lot, so unfortunately I didn't have a whole lot of huge news to bring you today. Trying to have daily huge news is a little difficult. But the last and final thing that I'll say, after, you know, we've kind of reached a climax as far as what we can wring out of the engine NA, then there will be boost. Yes, boost. I don't know what kind, I don't know what form, ProCharger, Whipple, Turbo, I don't know. But there will be boost at some point. There will be brake upgrades, wheel upgrades, paint, interior, all that. So this is something that's ongoing. The Coyote swap is just a start of this. So if you like what you see so far, I promise you ain't seen nothing yet. It's going to be fantastic. Anyway, with that being said, tomorrow it's Friday. You know I'll have another upload for you. Next week we'll be heading to PRI. I'm taking you with me. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. And probably some dyno content for the little beater. So, and actually, while I'm on that subject, I am going to run like a little contest of who can guess how much power the beater is going to make. So that should be fun. Keep an eye out for that. Stay tuned for that. And yeah, lots of good stuff happening. We will be back out of Dover's garage next week doing some stuff on the car as well. But in the meantime, tomorrow's Friday. I will have probably some shenanigans or something for you. But in the meantime, please shoot me a big thumbs up. If you like what you see, smash that subscribe button. And I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Later.